Hey.
G'day.
How you going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Okay, so this is a new thing we're trying, which is like a
Yeah.
wine night parenting advice. Sit on the couch with us, grab a glass of wine, and we're going to talk about not just parenting issues, but big issues. So a bit of both.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off this
Yep.
week, parenting issues. We've both brought one to a table. I'm going to kick it off. We have had a nightmare of a week with sleep again. We seem to have gone into sleep regression.
Oh, I've slept pretty well.
So this is my issue. My issue is not just sleep regression with the children because Harry now won't go to sleep and Hunter is waking up and unsettled all night. So I'm sleeping on the floor, but I can't wake you up.
No.
So we've had a couple of times this week where he's woken up and been like, oh, you know what? Why didn't you wake me up to help you? And I'm like, dude, I punched you basically in the head and you still slept through it.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
As a guy, just bring home flowers
I didn't get flowers.
and wine.
My wine fridge was empty. But this is what you should do.
This is what you should do.
So he's learning a lesson.
Bring home flowers, wine, and just be nice.
Yeah.
I got up and was accepting of a cup of coffee that was made for me.
Yeah,
But
you got up at
otherwise,
5
maybe
o'clock.
get up a little bit earlier
Yeah.
and make the coffee or the tea for, for the partner.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
Like, guys, we sleep through. Every guy knows we sleep through
Yeah.
anything, whether it's by choice or whether we just naturally built to sleep.
Oh my God, seriously, getting you up to do anything. And then
It's
you
hard
ask him,
work.
you're like, hey, it's your turn, you're a bit restless,
Yeah.
can you get up? And he looks at and he gets
just-
up the next day, he's like, oh my God, I had to get up so many times.
Just
It's like,
pretend like you've been up before. Just pretend you. Oh, I was up like 4 times last night with one of the kids.
okay,
Just
let's move on.
Say it with conviction.
Issue number 2 of parenting this week, 2-year-old tantrums.
Oh no, there's not 2-year-old tantrums.
What?
Our kid's not even 2 years old.
They're 19
doing
months,
tantrums.
and we've had tantrums for at least the last couple of months.
Yeah.
False advertising.
I think that the book needs to be rewritten.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not 2-year-old tantrums, terrible twos.
No.
How about terrible kids?
How about just terrible 1+?
No, terrible kids.
Yeah, fair
kids
call.
are terrible.
Because we've gone from
But they're lovely.
We
kids
love
are,
our
kids. Are
kids.
amazing, but they're terrible.
we've gone from chronic colic straight into 2-year-old tantrums,
Yeah.
and now we're at 18-month sleep regression as well.
And the teething
Sucks.
thing. There's just
Teething.
It's just crap.
Our local chemist thinks we've got some kind of problem because we keep going and getting more Panadol.
Yeah.
Like, are your kids
It's-
okay? Yes, they've got a lot of teeth. There's 2 of them, and they sell
Yeah.
tiny bloody bottles.
They're not big enough.
Ridiculous.
You should be able to buy that stuff in bulk.
Yeah, so just this is a warning to all parents out there with
Yeah.
children under 19 months.
Don't stress if your kids just go crazy and they're not even 2 and you go, oh, I was waiting for the 2-year-old tantrums or the terrible
False.
2s. No, it comes earlier.
Yep, comes earlier.
And I wouldn't try and claim that our kids are more mature. They're not. They're what, 19 months old.
Yeah, good.
They're not more mature. They're not in their 2s.
No,
Just
and
kids.
they're not
Kids
mature.
reach
They're
that
just feral.
shitty stage.
Yeah, we just leave them sometimes in
Yeah.
the corner just to cry it out.
But it's funny to watch.
It gets a little annoying.
It gets annoying, but
yeah.
you turn the radio up
Yeah, it's okay.
if it's not.
The
if
smooth
it's not
music
radio,
channel's good.
radio. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on from parenting to world issues because we want to talk on those. A couple of 2 things we want to touch on really quickly. Same-sex marriage. Can we just get this done?
Why
Like,
not?
please, can we just get this done? This is the biggest waste of money.
Here's the thing. Okay, $120 million on a
Yeah.
postal vote. Okay, if you say no to it, how about government? Here's my thing. If I'm Prime Minister or whatever you want to call it, because I'm an Australian citizen, which we'll touch on later.
I'm an Australian citizen.
How about what we do is, if you have an issue with it, if you're against it, fill out a form, send in your issue with your street, your neighbourhood, whatever, and the government can spend some money of taxpayers' money, and they can fix your driveway, your street
Give
light,
something back.
whatever. Let's do that. $120 million on a postal vote.
It's
Why don't we
ridiculous.
put that into fixing streets, fixing something else?
Cancer research.
Cancer research.
Yes, this is my big
Why
thing.
don't we put that money into stuff that is useful?
It is absolutely ridiculous. And look, I've got one question. If you're against it, if you don't support same-sex marriage, just stop and ask yourself, how does it directly affect you?
Yeah.
Like, if we were to get married tomorrow, our neighbours, our family, they're actually not affected by it. We're still living together under the same roof.
Yeah.
It's the same with same-sex marriage. It does not affect you directly. And $122 million, that money and what it could do for cancer research and health is ridiculous. It could save lives.
Yeah.
But instead, we're pouring it down the drain on a simple decision that could just go through the courts.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Make the call. Make the call.
Just the second issue we want to touch on is this whole thing in government about... So I've got a British passport, always wanted to be in government.
Bloody Poms.
And this is the thing, I don't feel like because these people have got citizenship in another country, that makes them unsuitable to govern our country. And I know people disagree with me, but here's the thing. Just because you have citizenship in another country doesn't mean that you have an affiliation.
No, I think it. There's no issues with that. I've been fortunate to share a beer with Barnaby Joyce at Scone when he's done a couple of little things down here at the pub, and look, that particular guy, he's got his best interests in Australia, and we claim the best out of Australia, and we'll take the New Zealanders that. Yeah, we can.
And maybe if people have actually got a background that's not necessarily 100% Australian, or maybe they've spent time in different cultures, like I take myself, for example.
It's a positive.
Maybe they've learned something. Maybe that makes them actually better at governing and looking at how other countries work compared to ours and making Australia better.
Yeah, we're a multicultural nation.
Yeah.
I think we should take their experiences, take their understandings, and what's wrong, as long as they've pledged their allegiances to our country, and definitely, like all these people, they've taken, the majority of these people have taken massive pay cuts to take their role within government. Yes, they may live some lovely lifestyles to a point. They've worked for it, the weekends, the nights, all that sort of crap that they have to put up with for their roles. Yeah, they deserve it, and they work for it. I'm okay with it.
I agree. I completely agree.
I don't care if they've got a dual passport. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. And I think, honestly, as long as what you're doing, I mean, these people aren't getting money or any kind of beneficiary from being involved in or having a passport. I mean, I have had a British passport my whole life. I don't consider myself English, and I certainly have spent very little time actively living in that country where I could understand even the basic politics, whereas in Australia, I'm born and bred and I've gone through the education system. So who knows what's going to happen? At the end of the day, it's up to the courts, but I think we're probably, as a country that benchmarks itself as being multicultural, we probably need to start to look at that one and say, hey, maybe it's too tight. Quickly, tips for the week.
Oh, wow. Tips of the week. Just put nappies on properly.
Did you have an issue?
No, very close calls this morning. Very close calls.
Didn't know his.
I'm just going to say, the structural integrity of nappies.
That's brilliant. We got Huggies. We love it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, tips of the week. Buy the expensive nappies.
Oh, yes.
Don't go to certain places and buy the cheap nappies. Buy the expensive nappies. They're worth it.
Yeah, they
and put them on properly. The structural integrity has been tested.
At me about that, by the way?
You may have put the nappies on last night, which I'm not having a go at you because it held it in. There was some beauties this morning, and I'm just going to say, Huggies, you guys, the structural integrity of your nappy has been tested to the limits. And you guys, glasses up.
Oh, wow, you got the first glasses up ever. Okay, my quick tip for the week is that if you're working parents, particularly if your mum's, I'm not going to do the whole discriminate, but it is hard for mums because we want to be that full-on parent and we want to be working as well. Cut yourself some slack. You're doing the best you can. When you get home from work, you're probably in the worst case scenario with kids. They won't eat, they're grumpy, they're grizzly. It can be the worst time, but, it's really hard to walk away from your kids. And I don't know that every time that I get in my car and I just want to cry or get out and say I'm staying at home, they say I'm building the best future. And one day my kids who are obnoxious and going through that under 2-year-old hate, love, blah, 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 they'll get it in the end, and that's all you can hold on to. So whatever you're doing in your parenting world, we salute you. We recommend a high quantity of, too high,
Not too high.
moderate quantity.
Drink a bit, babe.
What?
Don't drink too much.
Don't drink too much.
Yeah, I'm saying don't drink too much.
Got awkward.
Yeah.
Cheers to the parents. See you
Cheers.
next week.
Good work.